Flight TR-219 vanished without a trace in the Arctic wilderness on December 24, 1991, during one of the most severe storms of the decade. There were 150 passengers and crew members on board, each with their own story, each trying to get home for Christmas. The last message from Captain Daniel Henderson was received at 11:15 p.m., an urgent attempt to contact air traffic controllers through the raging storm. Extreme turbulence, 2 engine failures, altitude critically dropping, requesting immediate. The transmission was cut off, leaving only silence and decades of painful uncertainty. 8 search planes and 4 icebreakers spent more than 600 hours searching without success. The rescue operation was called off after a month of intensive efforts, yielding no results. The mystery of TR-219 seemed doomed to remain one of the many secrets buried in the Arctic ice. January 2024. Michael Blackwood sat in his research center in Anchorage, thoughtfully studying satellite images spread across his desk. The thermometer outside read -18 degrees Fahrenheit, but even through the thick walls of the lab, the Arctic cold seeped in. After 30 years of working in the Arctic, he had seen many strange things, but these photos made his heart beat faster. A military satellite had accidentally detected a metallic object buried deep in the ice. Dr. Blackwood? Amanda Ngu, a young radar specialist, rushed into his office. New thermal imaging data. You need to see this. Her hands trembled slightly as she spread out fresh printouts. There's something unusual here. Look at these temperature patterns around the object. And these tracks, they form an almost perfect grid around the crash site. Michael carefully examined the data. The size and shape of the object exactly matched the missing TR-219. But there was something else, something strange about the ice around the plane. It was as if, over 30 years, something had repeatedly walked the same paths, creating a complex pattern deep within the ice. Within a week, one of the largest Arctic expeditions in recent years was launched. The team included top experts: Jack Morrison, an engineer with 20 years of experience in polar conditions; Catherine Walsh, a leading expert on how animals survive in extreme environments; and a group of 30 technical specialists. Time was running out. Spring warming threatened to bury the mystery of TR-219 forever under tons of melting water. 185,000 pounds of equipment were transported to the crash site across the frozen wasteland. 4 heavy CH-47 transport helicopters worked nonstop, delivering life support modules, generators, drilling equipment, and fuel supplies. The camp was set up in just 18 hours, a true scientific outpost in the middle of the icy silence. Catherine Walsh was the first to notice the strange behavior of the local wildlife. All signs pointed to the presence of large predators, but the tracks didn't match those of polar bears or wolves. These footprints, they belong to lynxes, she told the team. But that's impossible. Lynxes never go this far north, and they definitely shouldn't be this big. At dawn on the 4th day, as the first rays of sunlight painted the snow pink and visibility improved after the night blizzard, they were finally seen. 3 lynxes, unusually large for their species, were watching the camp from a nearby ridge of ice hummocks. A mother and her 2 nearly grown cubs, their silvery white fur blended so perfectly with the snow that they seemed to be woven from the very air. Incredible, Catherine whispered. They're huge. And look at their behavior. They're not afraid of people, but they're not aggressive either. The work began in extreme conditions. The thermometers read -49 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind howled like a wounded beast, carrying icy snow pellets that stung their faces. 2 crews worked in shifts, using special equipment to melt the ice. Every hour, the temperature sensors showed a slow but steady increase. Spring was coming fast, threatening to turn the excavation site into a lake of meltwater. The first breakthrough happened at a depth of 65 feet. The tail of the plane emerged from the ice. Its metal had dulled over time, but the faded airline logo was still visible. Amanda was the first to notice something strange. The ice around the fuselage, it looks wrong, as if someone has been walking these paths for years. The lynxes appeared every morning, almost on schedule. Their behavior defied any explanation. They methodically checked the perimeter of the excavation, marked dangerous sections of ice with deep tracks and scratches, and sometimes, it seemed, deliberately drew people's attention to specific spots. That evening, the first incident occurred. A sudden gust of wind tore loose the main generator's fastenings. The massive structure tilted, threatening to collapse onto Amanda. From the swirling snow, the eldest lynx shot forward like lightning, pushing the girl out of the way just a moment before the generator crashed onto the ice. "This is impossible," Amanda said later, her voice trembling. "She deliberately saved me." Did you see her eyes? There was intelligence in them. Real intelligence. The work continued around the clock. The team installed powerful floodlights, their glow reflecting off the ice walls and creating eerie shadows. The special ice-melting equipment was running at maximum capacity. 12 pumps worked non-stop to drain the meltwater, which in such low temperatures almost instantly refroze into a new layer of ice. Jack Morrison led the technical side of the operation. His team designed a unique system of fastenings to keep the walls of the ice shaft from collapsing. "We've never seen ice formations like this," he admitted during one of the briefings. "These strange channels and voids. It's as if someone has been carving tunnels here for decades." A week later, the team reached the passenger cabin. What they found inside surpassed all expectations. Time had stopped here, preserved by the Arctic cold. Cups of coffee remained frozen on the tray tables. Magazines and half-read books were still tucked into seat pockets. A child's doll in a pink dress lay in the aisle, its plastic eyes staring motionlessly at the ceiling. But the most astonishing discovery was the diary of flight attendant Sarah Parker, found in the seat pocket of first class. Its pages held a chronicle of the survivors' final days, written in neat, tiny handwriting. December 25th, 1991, Christmas. Out of 150 people, 28 survived. We gathered in the front part of the plane. It's warmer here. Captain Henderson is organizing shifts and food distribution. It's strange, but we are not alone. We keep hearing sounds outside. It doesn't sound like wolves. Something else is watching us. December 27th, 1991. The temperature has dropped to -61 degrees Fahrenheit. 4 people didn't survive the night. We're trying to stay warm by huddling together. Jane, the girl from row 12, keeps asking about her mother. I don't know what to tell her. December 28th, 1991. Something incredible happened today. We found fresh prey at the entrance of the plane, a pair of Arctic hares, as if someone left them for us on purpose. Captain Henderson says that's impossible, but we've stopped questioning the impossible. These cats, they come every night. Their eyes glow in the dark, but we're not afraid anymore. They don't hunt us, they protect us. December 30th, 1991. Last night, we lost 11 people. Many are suffering from frostbite, others simply never woke up. The fuel is nearly gone, and the temperature inside the cabin is dropping dangerously fast. Without the help of these amazing creatures bringing us food, we would all be dead by now. January 2nd, 1992. Only 12 of us remain. The cold is killing us one by one. But they are still here, these incredible beings. The mother lynx brought her cubs closer today. They moved through the snow like ghosts, showing us safe paths. Jim tried to take a different route. We found his body in a crevice. Now we follow only the lynxes. January 10th, 1992. There are 5 of us left. The food is almost gone, but the lynxes continue to bring prey. It's as if they understand our desperation. Today I saw the mother lynx sitting beside Mary for hours, keeping her warm with her body as she was dying. This goes beyond everything I thought I knew about wild animals. January 15th, 1992. I am the only one left. The others are gone. But these creatures, they are still here. The mother lynx brings me food. Her cubs guard my sleep. I don't feel the cold anymore. They have taught me something important. In this white silence, no one should die alone. I hear them outside. They are calling me. The discovery of the diary left the team with mixed feelings. This is the delirium of a dying person, Jack Morrison insisted. But Catherine Walsh wasn't so sure. She had spent 20 years studying Arctic predators and had never seen anything like the behavior these lynxes displayed. The work continued, but each day grew warmer. The ice began melting faster than the team could reinforce it. Cracks started forming in the excavation walls. Michael Blackwood pushed for acceleration, knowing they had only a few days left. In mid-February, disaster struck. A sudden rise in temperature caused the ice to shift. A massive crack split through the excavation site, threatening to swallow both the plane and the people. The evacuation began in a panic, but 3 team members were cut off from the rest of the camp by the widening chasm. "They'll die out there," Amanda screamed, struggling through the blizzard. And then, the impossible happened. The lynxes emerged from the snowstorm, moving with absolute confidence. The mother lynx led the way, her cubs following exactly in her tracks. They guided the stranded team members across an invisible bridge over the chasm, the only safe path that didn't collapse under their weight. In the final week of February, the team made another astonishing discovery. In the plane's cargo hold, they found a container with scientific equipment. Inside was the working journal of a meteorologist who had been on flight TR-219. His final entries described strange atmospheric phenomena just before the crash. December 23, 1991, 10:15 p.m. "I have never seen anything like this. The instruments are giving impossible readings. The atmospheric light phenomena are beyond explanation. It's as if the Arctic itself is trying to tell us something." Next to the journal lay a camera. On the miraculously preserved film, there was only one photograph, a blurred image of a massive lynx standing in the glow of the northern lights. On the back, written in shaky handwriting, were the words, "They are the guardians of this place. They know more than we can understand." By early March, it became clear there was no more time. The spring thaw had accelerated, turning the excavation into a race against time. The team worked around the clock, trying to recover as many artifacts and as much information as possible. The lynxes, too, seemed to sense the approaching end. They appeared more frequently, their behavior becoming increasingly urgent. "This goes beyond any known science," Catherine admitted in her final interview at the excavation site. "These lynxes, they are not just unusually intelligent. They carry memory, a memory of those events, of the people they tried to save 30 years ago, and they pass that memory down through generations." On the final day of excavation, the team prepared for the last evacuation. The temperature had risen to 23 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ice was melting rapidly, turning the lower levels of the excavation into a lake. According to the engineers' calculations, the structure would become critically unstable within 24 hours. Suddenly, Amanda noticed something strange about the lynx's behavior. The mother lynx was insistently trying to draw attention to a specific spot on the plane's fuselage. Following the animals, the team discovered a small compartment they had previously overlooked. Inside was a sealed container filled with crew records and personal belongings of the passengers. This discovery became the final gift from the remarkable guardians of the crash site. During the expedition, the team gathered over 100 terabytes of data, including photographs, video recordings, and instrument readings. The analysis of the findings continues to this day, but one thing is already clear. The story of Flight TR-219 has changed our understanding of nature and its mysteries. As the last helicopter lifted off from the site, Michael Blackwood looked down. 3 silvery figures stood at the edge of the chasm, their silhouettes sharply outlined against the snowy wasteland. The lynxes were watching the humans leave, just as they had once watched the last survivors of Flight TR-219 depart 30 years ago. A modest monument now stands at the crash site. Its inscription is simple: Flight TR-219, December 24th, 1991. Here, among the Arctic ice, we learn that compassion knows no boundaries between species. Eternal memory to those who perished and to the extraordinary beings who guard their peace. Today, this place has become a subject of great scientific interest. Researchers from around the world travel here to study the unusual behavior of the Arctic lynxes. These remarkable creatures are still there. Rare expeditions have reported sightings. Like silver ghosts among the ice ridges, they remain the eternal sentinels of this place, where nature once revealed its true face. Catherine Walsh has published a series of scientific papers on the TR-219 lynx phenomenon, sparking a revolution in the understanding of cognitive abilities in wild animals. What we discovered there, beneath the ice, she wrote, goes beyond mere survival instinct. These creatures demonstrated empathy and care that were once thought to be purely human traits. They showed us that even in the harshest conditions, something extraordinary can flourish, a connection between species built on pure compassion. And on rare nights, when the northern lights illuminate the endless Arctic expanse, their silhouettes can still be seen against the shimmering sky. 3 loyal guardians, continuing their eternal watch, keeping the memory of those who found their final resting place here, and reminding us that true compassion knows no bounds.